Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and my guys, look alive. It's your boy, Acre Judge Galvatron presiding. You all my witnesses and jury. You may all be seated if you're not seated already. Court is now in session. What's going on, fellas? Just introduce yourselves to the court.
What's up, man?
503 Lion, you go first.
Yeah,
and tell them where they can find you.
What's going on with the judge? It's your boy 503 Line, man. You can find me right here in H-Town, you know what I'm saying? On YouTube 503 Line, Smoke City Mobcast on IG, and 503 Line on Twitter too. You heard?
Stay Ready Boxing.
Here's your attorney, Stay Ready Boxing, in the building. You know what I'm saying? What's going down, fellas? What's going down, family? Yeah.
Okay.
Get some smoke in the city tonight, goddamn
it. Supreme Beast. Tell them where they can find you at. Appreciate you, bro. I know you busy. Oh, you went chopper style.
Yeah, man. I'm still on the road and shit. So hopefully y'all can hear me. Hopefully everything come through. Yeah, people get killed for that. So,
yes, sir. Red gonna still be with us.
He with us in spirit, because I didn't hear nothing he said.
I know. Steels, tell them where they can find you at. We gonna get it started.
And y'all know what it is. Good evening, court. Good evening, jury. We have 5 new cases tonight, and I'll be defending the first one, definitely. Before we get into our cases, follow me at J Steels, you know what I mean, on Instagram. Here on YouTube, the R Fella, THAODDFELLA. Y'all know what it is, the War Report. We going live later tonight for the watch party. Joseph Parker versus what's his name? Junior Fa.
Junior
Joseph
Fox.
Parker versus Junior Fa. You know what I mean? It's going down. Battle of the Heavyweight Kiwis. Yeah, we going live tonight inside the War Room, the War Report. Make sure y'all subscribe. Once again, I'll be defending for case 1 tonight. And yeah, Judge, we can get into this.
Yeah, opening statements be admitted in the court from either party, whoever would like to go first.
Well, first off, case number 1 is the LDBC versus Bob Arum. Unfortunately, due to the absence and the choppiness of Supreme Beats phone or connection, I'll be representing Bob Arum today and defending him for these alleged charges. I would like to know what the charges are against Bob Arum first, before we get into this case.
503, I believe, is the prosecution. So
Yes, sir, Judge. I would like to bring charges on. I would like to bring charges on Mr. Bob Arum, failure to make big fights, failure to keep the fans happy on the biggest platform in boxing, and a failure to keep his up and coming superstars active, Your Honor.
okay. Any opening statements?
Yes, sir. I think Bob Arum needs to be indicted and booked immediately in the nearest detention center due to lack of lack of mega fights in the sport of boxing. He's on the biggest platform in the sports, and we've yet to see any big fights made on Bob Arum's side. This has to stop, Judge. This has to stop, John.
Does the defense have anything to add?
Yes, my client is being slandered wrongfully. I believe my client is being highly underrated for what he's bringing to the table. He's saying the prosecutors are saying that my client aren't bringing the big fights. However, during the pandemic, what was one of the biggest fights that was on TV? Free TV, mind you. You know what I mean? It was Teofimo Lopez versus Lomachenko, one of the highly watched, most viewed fights on TV during the pandemic. Gave that to y'all for free, but you say my client don't put together the big fights. Part of the
Objection.
object what? Because that's a fact. That's a
Proceed.
fact.
Proceed. Continue.
Mind you, there was a delay in the Wilder versus Fury second fight, but that was under the advisement of an unnamed organization. But Bob Arum, my client, was able to successfully put that second fight together, bringing two mega networks together in a mega fight, ESPN and Fox, top ranking the PBC, merging together to bring you one of the greatest heavyweight spectacles of our time. That was my client that was involved in that. My client in the future will be involved in the the undisputed championship at 140 between Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor. My client is putting that big fight together, but you, the prosecutors, and some of the jury are gonna sit here and say my client is not putting big fights together when that's just not true at all. It's just not true. During the pandemic, he's losing money left and right with fighters that don't want to come to the grasp of what's going on in the world, the recession times, the money's dwindling in the pandemic. But yet my client can still put on the big fights in a bubble with no fight fans. As we saw last week, people are still raving about the Oscar Valdez Miguel Burchelt fight. On for free TV. Another big fight we seen, you know what I mean, by a highly regarded contender, former champion against a somewhat long-standing champion in the WBC and Miguel Burchelt. We seen that for free on ESPN because of my client. Bob Arum should be absolved of these ridiculous charges because, in essence, when you put them against or put them beside the other entities and other promoters in the sport, he's doing the same, if not more, for the common man's value, for the common man's buck. Big fights, not the greatest fights, but big fights Bob Arum has been able to make during this COVID-19 pandemic, and I rest my case.
May the prosecution proceed, Your Honor.
Proceed.
Now, the the defense attorney is using non-factual statements in his defense of his client. Now, he stated that Bob Arum is putting on fight. He said that Bob Arum is putting on big fights for the fight fans, and these fights are free. Last time I checked, I could have sworn ESPN was on a cable network where you had to pay a monthly fee, whether that was with Comcast, AT&T, any type of cable service. ESPN is not free. ESPN Plus is not free.
Objection. Your Honor, this is a figure of speech when we're talking about
order. Order. Let him continue. Let the prosecution continue.
Right.
Counsel.
Thank you. Anything that's right now on TV besides the PBC on Fox, which is a free channel. Fox is a free channel that comes on your local TV stations. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's channel 20, 26, what have you, channel 5, whatever city or state you're in, Fox is free. Okay? ESPN is not free. That's number one. Number two, Bob Arum has yet and still is failing in boxing in the new century. Bob Arum comes from the old school Muhammad Ali days, Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hitman Hearn days. He was a great promoter during his heyday, in his prime, but now it's not his time. It's a young man's game. These fighters are taking control of their careers. We've seen, as of late, just recently yesterday, Teofimo Lopez is having contract problems with Bob Arum due to Bob Arum failing to make the big fights for Teofimo Lopez. It has gotten so bad for Bob Arum that he has got outbid by App and Thriller. And he also got outbid by Matchroom and Eddie Hearns and DAZN. he only put up a measly $2.3 million for his own unified champion at lightweight. Now, this is the same guy that Oddfella, the defense attorney, said had the biggest fight in boxing last year on quote unquote free TV. But last time I checked, ESPN wasn't free. So you have this guy, Teofimo Lopez, who had the biggest fight in boxing. Let him tell it, right? But why, if he had the biggest fight in boxing, then why isn't your client pushing and making sure that this guy is well taken care of? Like you see all these other fighters, Charlo, Wilder, Earl Spence Jr., Tank Davis, Canelo, all these guys are well taken care of. And they don't complain, they don't have money problems like the fighters over on the top rank side. It seems to me that Bob Arum is one-sided, he's biased toward certain fighters. To me, it seems like he only cares about making big fights for one fighter, and that fighter is none other than Tyson Fury. That's the only fighter that I see making segues for big fights, with the Anthony Joshua fight on the horizon and the Deontay Wilder fight that he just had last year in February. Besides that, I mean, we don't see Terrence Crawford getting the big fights on Top Rank. We don't see Teofimo Lopez getting the big fights. Coming off his biggest win in his career. We don't see Shakur Stevenson getting the big fights. Okay, he's on Twitter. He's on Twitter right now. And if I was at home, I would pull up the evidence. He's on Twitter right now begging for a fight date. Shakur Stevenson. Okay? Lomachenko is begging for a fight date. All these guys that are promoted by the defense's his client, right? These guys are needing fight dates, man. The only person I know of that's got a big fight on the horizon is none other than Tyson Fury. This guy is on the biggest platform in sports. And excuse me, y'all, I'm out to eat right now, so you gotta excuse me for the loud noise. But
you're distracting the jury.
I'm sorry, Jan. I'm sorry. I'm gonna wrap this one up, man. I'm gonna say this, man. Tyson Fury is the only guy that I know of that's getting big fights on the Top Rank side. How much more longer will we have to wait for Top Rank and Bob Arum to get these guys big fights? We have yet to see Terrence Crawford in a big fight. We've begged and begged for Earl Spence Jr. We've asking for Sean Porter. We still haven't got any of those fights. We're still waiting on Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor. Still haven't got that fight. How long are fight fans going to have to wait for these big fights to be made by none other than Bob Arum, a.k.a. the Bob Father? I rest my case, man.
To rebuttal that, you mentioned Triller, alluding that my client's taken a loss, that he can't take care of his fighters. In essence, he did take care of his fighters by losing this purse bid. By losing this purse bid, he was able to gain $900,000 into his own pocket, because he gets a cut of that. Understand? He gets a cut of that $3.9 million that Teofimo was gained to earn on Triller on Triller's dime. So that's a win to my client. Actually, that's a win to his client, Teofimo Lopez. Actually, when you have factions and management groups such as Jay Prince, Rap-A-Lot, affiliating with such a person as my client, there has to be some type of correlation to credibility brought into there. We can't say love Jay Prince and then hate his associates. We can't say Jay Prince is great for the game of boxing, but then hate on his main associate, who is my client, Bob Arum. Don't we seem contradictory when we do that? Don't we seem contradictory when we do that? When he's nurturing and bringing up some of our most beloved fighters is Shakur Stevenson. We seeing a Flores Jr. blossom into a great fighter in front of our eyes, and my clients bringing it to you on so-called free TV, Naju. This is the doing of my client, and you're here slandering him while these other networks and other so-called promotional groups are putting together no fights for us to watch. No fights for us to watch. Last time I looked on the PBC schedule, I saw cobwebs. I ain't really see nothing. But you know what I can get at least? Some upcoming fighters, some decent prospects to watch in some bubble fights. You know what I mean? While these diva-ass fighters get their situations sorted out. Because sometimes it's not just about the promoter. And these days and times, people need to understand it's about the management group too. Management groups get into situations, get into places where fights become fights are not made to happen. They become obstacles. But who becomes the scapegoat? My client. Your Honor, I ask you to relieve him of all charges. My client is a man of advanced age, is losing money by the day, trying to give the fans the fights that they need. It may not be the most beautiful and have the most quality, but we are getting some type of quantity. Bob Arum should be exonerated just by his elder age, his senior status.
That means he's gonna die soon, right?
Show leniency. Objection. Show leniency.
Continue.
Show leniency for this man in his advanced age. We should be respecting our senior citizens in America, in Canada, in Europe, in Africa, as this man is bringing us to fights while being broke doing it. I rest my case.
Before I make my ruling, does anybody have anything else? Okay. In the case of Bob Arum, we find the defendant guilty on all charges. Bob Arum, he's had more than enough chances. It was a good argument, counselor, really. But he's been on the chopping block more than a few times. We can't let this go anymore. I gotta be fair, decisive in my court, not show any partiality. Next case on the docket.
Case 2, the LDBC versus Saul Canelo Alvarez. I'll be defending Saul Canelo Alvarez today. I would first like to hear the charges, if you may, prosecutor.
Oh, this is Mac, right? Stay ready.
Nah, I thought that was Canada, but I was Tyson Fury.
So you want to do this?
I don't even remember what the charges were on Canelo.
You
But
said he's guilty already.
but I can come up with some charges real quick, goddamn.
He said, "Send me a link.
Who is that?
I'll prosecute Bftb."
Yeah, send Bftb a link. Let
Yeah,
Bftb get this. I need the attorney. Hold on. Let me write this down real quick.
Motion to delay this trial and
yeah,
replace it with the Tyson Fury.
Right
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Right on. Well, while you replace it with Tyson Fury, let me send Bftb the link real quick.
And we'll revisit that case. While we got Mac, we might as well, while we still got him. So.
Yeah, hold on, Bftb.
All right, case 2. Case 2 will be replaced with the LDBC versus Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. Canelo Alvarez will be revisited later on in the docket, but as of right now, we are ready for Tyson Fury, and I will be the defense for Tyson Fury. Stay ready. What are the charges?
Hold on.
I gotta hear this one.
Fuck. Give me a second.
Yana, what is this? This is ridiculous.
We'll take a 5-minute recess.
Yana, may I approach the stand, please?
We're gonna take a 5-minute recess and give everybody a chance, to stretch their legs. You know how judges say. Make sure that you don't watch any news articles. Don't turn on your TVs. I don't want you to be influenced in any type of way, jury. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to everybody for coming through. Appreciate it.
Wow.
Yep, I just said check your email. My bad, y'all. I'm back. I apologize for the delay. Like I said, I had to make sure the attorney got here on time. There you go. The best fight, the best is in the building. How's it going,
What's going on, bro?
What it do, Your Honor? I see my brother in the building.
So do y'all want me to read the charges on Tyson Fury just yet, or y'all wanna? Oh, Arthur left. Yeah.
Told him we was giving him a recess real quick. I think Bftb. Yeah.
I done shared this shit, so hopefully,
okay.
Some people coming in and shit.
Okay. So what case? We Canelo.
Let me know what case you want, because I'm definitely ready to prosecute.
We're going with we're going with case 2. The LDVC versus Tyson Fury.
Go ahead with
When,
go ahead with Canelo, and I'm gonna jump back on for the Tyson Fury.
Okay. Well, Your Honor, you just let me know. I don't want to be rude to the court, so just let me know.
No problem. No problem. I'm gonna open it up for opening statements and testimonies, good things like that. Would defense like to go first, or would the prosecution?
first, I would like to know the charges that are being laid against my client, Saul Canelo Alvarez. And first off, in the Supreme Court of Law, I would like my client to be addressed none other than Saul Canelo Alvarez. Nothing else, nothing less.
You have that right. You have that right, counselor.
Now, he has that, Your Honor, he has that right. However, this is your courtroom, and I will not follow the defense's rules unless you rule it to be so.
Okay. You don't have to comply, but nothing too vulgar in the court, because it's a lot of eyes, we're trying to keep things not too crazy. That's all. But opening statements.
Okay. All right, Your Honor. Appreciate you allowing me the opportunity to prosecute Cinnamon. I'll leave the remaining portion off out of respect for the defense, not for who he's defending. So I'll leave it at Cinnamon. Well, Your Honor, Cinnamon is probably the only fighter in the past, one of the only fighters not named Floyd Mayweather in the past 2 decades, probably had the opportunity to be undisputed in multiple divisions. Cinnamon blatantly turned down undisputed in 3 weight classes, while now claiming to want undisputed in the 3rd. Well, heck, the 4th, not even the 3rd, the 4th, because Cinnamon avoided and ducked Demetrius Andrade at 154. He avoided and ducked Jermall and Jermell Charlo at 154, and he only fought Laura because he was shamed into doing so. That man into doing so, and that's the reason why he fought him. No other reason. He then moved up out of the division when all roads led to either Jermall or Jermell. He vacated his belt. He moved out of the division, moved up. Well, actually, he didn't vacate. That's a correction. He lost to Floyd Mayweather, but then he moved out of the weight class altogether to 160. Now, the move, Your Honor, I had no problem with. I had no problem with the moving. And as you'll see later on in this testimony, in my opening statements, you'll see that I have no issue with that. I'll show you where the issue comes from. Again, I stated he avoided 3 fighters at 150. He moved up to fight Cotto, a great fight, good fight. After being mandated to fight Golovkin, mandated by all means, ordered, Your Honor, like something that you would do in your courtroom, ordered. He decided that he's not going to do it. And then after that, moved back down in weight after Demetrius Andrade, the then WBO champion, was stripped of his belt. He moved back down and fought for that belt at 154. In Dallas, by all means, Your Honor, in Dallas, where he could have fought either of the Charlos in a bigger fight. He fought Liam Calum Rocky Smith, who is from wherever in the hell UK. He fought him in Dallas instead of going to the UK to fight that. Because at that time, Your Honor, they were saying the UK is so big, the UK is hot, and blah, blah, blah. So instead of where it was hot and fighting that man, he decided to come to the US and fight Liam Calum Rocky Welsh Smith for a belt that Demetrius Andrade had and was trying to fight him at 154. Moving further, after that, He didn't stay there, Your Honor. So after getting the belt and the opportunity, the WBO champion having the opportunity to unify with the WBC champion, Jermel, or the the IBF champion, Jamal, or a rematch with the WBA champion, Laura, in order to get a unified there and became undisputed. Instead of doing any of that, he left the division again. Mind you, Your Honor, he was saying he couldn't fight Bum Lofkin because Bum Lofkin was too big for him. He needed to fight at 155. He couldn't fight him at full 160. So after moving back down, throwing his belt in the trash, moving back down to 54 and fighting for the belt that he refused to fight Andrade for, and then all while claiming he was too small, he moved up to 164, past 160, to fight Chavez. So this is a man claiming that he was too small to fight Bum Lofkin, then moves past the weight class altogether, all the way up to the weight above that to fight an even bigger man in Chavez, as gaily as he could. And then, after that, moved back down to fight Bum Lofkin and fought twice. Your Honor, he had no reason to vacate his belt. He could have fought Bum Lofkin then. He had no reason of moving out of 154, claiming he's too small to fight Bum Lofkin. He could have stayed at 154 and fought the other champions then. He decided not to do it. And then, at 160, the fighters at 154, namely Jermel Charlo, namely Demetrius Andrade, moved up to 160. One of them fought Canelo's mandatory and became the mandatory for Canelo himself in Jermel Charlo. The other one went and got a belt, the same one he had at 154, the WBO belt. During this time, Cinnamon was telling the world he wants to be undisputed. He wants to be the first Mexican undisputed champion in however long. He fought Bum Lofkin and got 3 of the 4 belts. There was 1 belt left to get. He refused to get it. It was with Billy Ho. And I say that with full disrespect, Your Honor. So it was with him. Billy Ho lost his belt due to some nasal spray cheating. And he his belt. Dudu Andrade fought Kunta Kinte and became the WBO champion.
Objection. This is Black History Month.
Order.
Black History Month is the name is Walter Catton Duckworth.
Order.
I refrain, Your Honor. I refrain.
Order. Continue. Let the prosecution continue.
I refrain from calling Kinte and Dudu Andrade. I will call that man just Kunta and just Dude. All right, Kunta and Dude. Matter of fact, I will give Andrade his name. I will give that. Andrade fought Kunta. He beat him. He became a WBO champion. Cinnamon had 1 fight, Your Honor, just 1. This is the man that claimed and told the world in March of 2018 that he wants to be the first Mexican undisputed champion in a long time. He had 1 fight, Your Honor, against Dudu Andrade. He then decided that he's not going to fight Dudu Andrade and said, he's boring, Your Honor. That's what he said. The man said he's boring. I'm not fighting him. And then moved up and fought Rocky Slave, Caleb Slavehouse, Caleb, Rocky, Ricky, Welsh, Smith, Caleb, Liam for the WBA nothing belt. And then, Your Honor, instead of fighting the other champions at 168, David Benavidez, WBC champion, instead of fighting Caleb Plant, the IBF, any one of those, instead of fighting anybody, he moved up again and told the world what he was doing. He said, I'm fighting Sergey drunk, woman beating, dog kicking Kovalev because that man was beat up by Andre Ward. That's what he said out of his mouth, Your Honor. Verbatim, I'm fighting Kovalev because what Andre Ward did to him. Verbatim. And then he went out and did just that. He avoided the fight with Demetrius Bivol, who was calling for the smoke. He avoided the fight with Artur Beterbiev, who was willing to fight him. There's another division where he could have became undisputed, Your Honor. There's another one. That's 154. That's 160. And that's 175. He then moves back down, vacates his WBO belt, and moves back down to 168. While at 168, he claims the exact same claim that he was going to do at 160. I am going to unify all the belts. Mind you, Your Honor, the people that he's fighting against are of the Caucasian persuasion. Both of them. Plant and Billy Ho. The same Billy Ho that he was so actively and aggressive and eager to become undisputed with at 160. Only to change his mind when Demetrius Andrade, Dudu Andrade, a man with melanin in his skin, became the WBO champion. Then mysteriously and ironically, Demetrius Andrade, who fights very, very similar to Billy Ho. All of a sudden now, that is boring and he can't fight Dudu. So then he moves up. Now, though, he wants to fight Caleb Plant of the Caucasian persuasion and Billy Ho of the Caucasian persuasion. So he's okay with fighting them. Mind you, Sergey Kovalev was of the Caucasian persuasion. This is the same man saying, I refuse to fight any Mexicans. So he is full gung-ho, Your Honor, on fighting fighters of the Caucasian persuasion at 168. Mind you, Your Honor, he decided to not fight David Benavidez when David Benavidez was a WBC champion because he was not of the Caucasian persuasion, Your Honor. So me, as the prosecution, right, standing here supporting the mighty LDBC to completely crap all over Cinnamon for his ducking behavior. I have laid out the facts to you in minute detail. There is no way that Your Honor can come to any conclusion that this man is anything but guilty of the absolute, of the highest proportions and banned from everything. Not to mention he popped dirty for clenbuterol on top of everything. I do not rest, but I do yield.
Indeed. Indeed. That was nice. You just described movements of a boss, the way you describe my clients move, jump from belt to belt, and ascend up from the divisions up, and then move down from divisions. Yep,
Objection, Your Honor.
that's my client right there.
Objection, Your Honor. False characterizations.
My client.
Get into your opening statement, counselor.
My client is being wrongfully accused and wrongfully perpetrated. Now, let's see here. We're talking about, we're in the boxing game where we complain about the takeover of the European takeover, excuse me. We complain about the European takeover. We know we have a popular boxing pundit by the name of Paulie Malignaggi who referred to this European boxing takeover. None as such. But we sit here and slag my client who's doing the work to debunk that myth. All these Calums, he's getting rid of them. The whole family of them. Huh? Liam and Calum, gone. Wife beating, dog abusing Russians, gone. Getting knocked out. Flat. These are the guys that HBO and American TV was bringing to all fight fans. Canelo's dismissing them. The European takeover, nah, it's not going down. It's still we still commencing in it. Billy Joe Saunders is next.
Objection, Your Honor. Objection, Your Honor. Objection.
Billy Joe Saunders is next.
Your Honor, he can fight in the UK. If he's trying to take over the UK, if he's trying to get rid of him, he can fight in the UK. Your Honor, Canelo.
The boss doesn't need to fight in the UK. Did Floyd need to fight in the UK? He brought the fights to Las Vegas.
Objection again.
Objection, about fights in Dallas.
Floyd Mayweather did not
about fights in Texas.
Objection, Your
when
Honor.
we know Texas is popping. We know Texas is one of the new boxing meccas in the United States right now.
Objection. Floyd did not only fight UK fighters, Your Honor.
Canelo's doing this.
That's true, Counselor.
This is for a bigger reason right now. I told y'all, Floyd. You're saying Floyd didn't fight UK fighters, but there's something bigger at stake right now that's going on. Like I said, the UK, the so-called quote unquote European takeover, and Canelo Alvarez is dismissing
Objection
of that myth.
Objection again, Your Honor.
Dismissing of that myth. Dismissing of that myth.
Your Honor, counsel said there's something bigger going on. Floyd Mayweather fought Manny Pacquiao in the biggest pay-per-view fight in boxing history. There is nothing bigger than that.
Object. You should remove that from the record because he's disrupting my opening arguments, and for the fact that he's even saying that
Counselor,
how can we
won't
even
count
say
it towards the records, but we had to hear it.
when my later client Tyson Fury is part of this whole game plan.
Order, Counselor. We won't count it towards the record for your sake, but we heard what he said already. Continue.
Exactly. And must I not forget, lest we not forget, he neutralized and minimized the Kazakh Gennady Golovkin. So this further adds on to my notion that my client is debunking the whole European takeover. Now, people always want to say the prosecutors want to slag him of not fighting black athletic fighters, huh? Your Honor, may I bring Exhibit A to the stand?
Yes, you may.
Exhibit A, I will shareth the box rec of my client, Canelo Alvarez, and show you the proof that there is evidence of black athletic fighters on his resume. Black athletic fighters on his resume. Now, let's first take a look at my client. 30 years old. 30 years old, and he already has 57 fights under his belt. 57 fights under his belt. A true feat indeed. And now a time where fighters are credited for fighting 15 fights and all already think they Hall of Famers. But mind you, we scroll down here and we see, firstly, an African-American athletic boxer by the name of Danny Jacobs.
Objection, Your Honor. Danny Jacobs dubbed Jamal Charlo, Your Honor. The same fighter that Canelo Alvarez
irrelevant to the state that this man is
irrelevant, and we won't count it towards the record.
He's
Continue,
athletic,
counselor.
and he was a danger to Canelo, but to my client. But he proverbially shit the bed and didn't do nothing. Got neutralized. I scroll down. We see a bunch of, once again, the European myth being debunked. Gennadi's, Rocky Fielding's, Sergey Kovalev's, Callum Smith, and then he gets the whole family. You know what I mean? More UK fighter than Amir Khan.
Objection again, Your Honor. Amir Khan was a 154-pound fighter, a 147-pound fighter. He fought him at full 160, no catch weight.
It don't matter. My client was making an example to them UK folks that thinking they was taking over in these North American shores. That wasn't happening.
Objection again, Your Honor. So then why isn't Canelo Alvarez trying to fight Josh Taylor?
That's for another case. As we know,
answer the question, counselor. Answer the question.
My once client, Bob Arum, you know what I mean, who was just sentenced as guilty. He's blocking the fight. As simple as that. Moving on. Aris Larry Lara of African descent. You can call him Latino, whatever you want. Afro-Cuban, athletic. Canelo fought him. Of course, the loss to Floyd Mayweather Jr. Money May, one of the most athletic African Americans we've seen thus far.
Objection again, Your Honor. Objection. He got a majority decision against Floyd Mayweather, and everyone in here, including everyone's mom, wife, kids, and dogs and cats, knows that Floyd Mayweather beat this man. He didn't win anything. He lost every single round and every second of that fight, but he got a majority decision over Canelo Alvarez. This proves my point. I'm appreciative of the bringing up Floyd Mayweather because this more so proves my point that Canelo.
Moving on. I'm not complete.
Order in the court.
My opening statement with Exhibit A, because
let him continue to the prosecution. Let him continue if you want. Before we render verdict, if you want to add on any details, we'll leave it open.
Please. Now, lastly, for Exhibit A, we see another undefeated fighter, athletic and African American, Austin No Joke Trout. I rest my case to the point that he don't have no athletic African Americans on his resume because yes he does, and furthermore, while you're complaining about there's too many Eastern Europeans and UK mandem and boxers on his resume, is for the reason why I've been trying to show you that he's trying to debunk the myth, trying to debunk the European takeover. Once again, we see what we have here in Julio Cesar Chavez, the last Mexican fighter who he's faced. You know what I mean? In a racist society that we have in boxing, where we continually look at the Mexican fighter as just a punching bag, rock'em sock'em robots. You know what I mean? Mexican warriors. That's the stereotypical type of Mexican fighter. My client doesn't want to be put in that mold of Mexican fighter. He wants to be the greatest. He wants to be the greatest Mexican fighter. That's why he's going for the undisputed. That's why he got Benavidez's belt when he fucked up on the scales, huh? Took that. Not no bullshit vacant fight. He took that from Caleb Smith. You know what I mean? Who was reputably arguably the number one ranked contender at 168. Future now he's going to Billy Joe Saunders to pick up that WBO belt. We know it's true. That's why he signed up with Matchroom for that 2-fight deal. Now we have his own trainer. Now we have his own trainer talking about, yeah, Plant is next, and after Plant, we want Charlo. What more do you people want? Look at the activity my client is giving y'all. The turnaround. 2 months. 2 months in the pandemic while your favorite fighters don't got confirmed dates at all. Your favorite fighters don't got confirmed dates at all. My client does not want to be a part of this stereotypical Mexican warrior bullshit. He doesn't fall into those categories. He don't want to speak no English. He the boss up in here. He speak English when he want, when he feel like, with his homeboys, with his brethren them. Huh? That's how we do it. Because Canelo earned that. My client has earned that. You see the resume. You see Exhibit A. 54, 1 and 2 at 30 years old and still climbing and still escalating to be the number one, the best Mexican fighter of all time. I rest my case.
Perfect. Thank you, Your Honor. May I proceed?
Yes, you may.
Thank you, Your Honor. Since counsel decided to bring up Cinnamon clitoris, oh, my bad. He decided to bring up Cinnamon's resume. The prosecution will bring up Cinnamon's resume. Okay, the prosecution will bring up his resume. Counsel decided to tell you about all of the so-called fighters that, he's getting rid of. What counsel failed to realize is that the prosecution never brought up that argument at all. The prosecution brought up the argument that Cinnamon could have been undisputed in 4 weight classes, Your Honor. That is what the prosecution said. That is the LDBC's problem with Cinnamon clitoris is that, Cinnamon. My problem with Cinnamon and the LDBC's problem with Cinnamon is not that he is fighting these UK bums. My problem is that Cinnamon is not fighting the best competition available. The counsel decided to tell you that he's not fighting these no vacant belts. He's fighting blah, blah, blah. What I needed to point out to Your Honor, a few things. I'm using his Exhibit A. Let's just see. Matthew Hatton, vacant WBC silver title. There's vacant number 1. Let's move up. Let's keep going now.
Objection. You just slid that in. Silver title. Meaningless season.
Overruled. Continue. Let the prosecution continue.
That's okay. If you want to remove the WBC silver, that's fine. It doesn't remove the point of me saying that this was a vacant title. This one against Miguel Cotto, the WBC real title, the vacant WBC real title against Miguel Cotto, that is a real belt.
Facts.
Number 2.
Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer.
Your Honor, please be advised that counsel did not say objection.
That's true.
Objection. Hall of Famer.
Overruled. Continue. Let the prosecution continue.
Let's keep going, Your Honor. Then he fights Calum for another vacant WBC title. So where counsel was saying that his client is not fighting for no vacant belts, I just showed you 2 of them because we'll remove the WBC silver. I just showed you 2. Those are vacant titles that he fought for. Actually, correction, 3, because the first one, Matthew Hatton, he was elevated. So he didn't win the real belt either. Just so we're clear, because he was elevated. But anyways, well, let's keep moving on. What counsel decided to tell y'all is about how he's fighting these UK bums, remember? What the prosecution presented to you is that had nothing to do with the UK bums. If you recall your grievance, what you want us to state our case, the LDBC's case against Canelo Alvarez. If you recall, Your Honor, the case that I stated was that he didn't become undisputed in 4 weight classes. He didn't become undisputed in 1.
Objection. He's trying to move the jury and sway the jury using
Overruled.
references like
Overruled.
UK. Look at the
Overruled.
look at the display of the records and the resume of these fighters, and you're calling them bums.
No problem, Your Honor. I will remove the claim of UK bum. What I will say is the case that counsel is defending is not the prosecution's case. The prosecution's case is that Canelo Alvarez did not become undisputed in 4 weight classes. The prosecution's case is Canelo Alvarez didn't fight Demetrius Andrade. He didn't fight Jamal Charlo. He didn't fight Jermell Charlo. The prosecution's case is that Canelo Alvarez moved to 4 different weight classes and refused to fight the top guy in each one. That is the the prosecution's case. He refused to fight the top guy in each one. He was forced to fight Golovkin. Forced. That was not of his own attrition. That was not of his own volition. He was forced to fight him. He vacated his belt originally to fight that UK fighter. He then came back around and is now saying the fight with Jamal Charlo needs to happen after this fight. But, Your Honor, Canelo Alvarez is on record saying his fights are Billy Ho and Caleb Plant. So when is he going to fit in Jamal Charlo? When is he fitting that in, Your Honor? I dare to say he is not fitting
Objection.
in.
Why?
Overruled. Order. Let him continue, counselor. We
Your
can't have
Honor,
a kangaroo. We're not running a kangaroo court. We can't talk out of order. Continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. What counsel stated is that Canelo Alvarez is going to circle back around and fight Charlo. That's what counsel stated at the end of his closing statements. What the prosecution is saying is that Canelo Alvarez didn't have to circle back around because he failed to present to you, Your Honor, is that Canelo Alvarez said, "I'm hearing Jamal Charlo doing all this talking. I can't listen to this no more." He forgot that in. However, Your Honor, Jamal Charlo has been talking about Canelo Alvarez for the past almost decade, Your Honor. And Canelo Alvarez mysteriously is just now hearing Jamal Charlo. Mysteriously and ironically, Your Honor. I don't know what those reasons are. So I will not go into speculation. But what I will say, Your Honor, is there was no reason for him to not fight him when he already is mandatory at 160. Because Jamal Charlo was saying the exact same things now that Canelo's at 168 that he was saying at 160. So I have no idea why Canelo Alvarez, mysteriously and ironically, is now hearing Jamal Charlo, but didn't hear him when they were in the same weight class. And furthermore, Your Honor, counsel still didn't present the fact of Canelo Alvarez not fighting David Benavidez. I said Canelo Alvarez is fighting fighters of the Caucasian persuasion, choosing to fight other fighters. He showed me Austin Trout. I will show you Austin Trout. Let's see. What year did he fight Austin Trout? And the only reason why he fought Austin Trout is because Floyd Mayweather told him to fight him on his undercard. And he did that. 2013 is when he fought Austin Trout. In the same year, he fought Floyd Mayweather. 2014, he fought Arislani Lara and James Kirkland. We know he refused to allow this man to have his trainer. Then he goes on to fight Liam's Blow moved up in weight. Prosecution is proving that he went from 154 to 164. Counsel is now proving that. Counsel is proving that he fought Amir Khan, made him move all the way up to 155 Canelo weight. He is proving that, Your Honor. Here again, after fighting Julio Cesar Chavez at 164, where he said he couldn't make the weight to 160, then mysteriously he fought Golovkin at 160, and he fights him twice mysteriously, only to fight Rocky Slavehouse Fielding at 167 immediately after that. The prosecution is proving that Canelo Alvarez, during this time of fighting Liam, did not fight Demetrius Andrade, did not fight Jamal Charlo, did not fight Jermell Charlo. I proved that. He fights at 164, which was essentially 168. but he did not fight David Benavidez right here. He did not fight him when he could have fought David Benavidez right there. He decided to fight this guy, Julio Cesar Chavez.
May I add one thing to Counselor's argument?
Yeah, we won't count it towards the record, but go ahead.
It is a part of the record because when he fought Triple G,
Objection. You can't question the judge.
I just asked and he said I can say it, so I'm saying when he fought
Triple
G, it was only after he fought Daniel Jacobs and saw that he had trouble with fighters that moved their head.
So let me move forward. I think co-counsel might have been a little bit off on that one because he fought Danny Jacobs after Golovkin. So might have been a little bit off, but let me keep continuing. Golovkin.
I was talking about when Golovkin fought Danny Jacobs.
Oh, correction. You are correct. You are correct, co-counsel. Golovkin fought Danny Jacobs, and Danny Jacobs was a sitting target. But many people thought Danny Jacobs won. Ironically, after that, then he fights Danny Jacobs. But mind you, Your Honor, I want you to look at the weights that he fought at. He fought Rocky Fielding at 168, as you see, 167 and a half. Immediately after fighting at 160, where he said he couldn't make the weight. Then he dropped back down to fight Danny Jacobs. In this time, nowhere in here do you see a Jamal Charlo, or a Demetrius Andrade, of which was prosecution's case to start out with. When he moved up to 175, to full 175, as you see, Kovalev was 175, he was 174 and a half. So this completely debunks the case of Cinnamon Clitoris saying that he can't make one full 160 because he fought Sergey Kovalev at 174 and a half. He made the weight just fine. Just fine, Your Honor. And then after fighting for the WBO belt, he immediately vacated it so he wouldn't have to unify with Dmitry Bivol or Artur Petreviev, which again proved my case on the Cinnamon Clitoris not becoming undisputed in his fourth weight class because Bivol and Artur Petreviev would have fought Canelo Alvarez. Then he moves back down, Your Honor, back down to fight Caleb Smith, who at the time, Caleb Smith was not even the best 168-pound fighter. The best 168-pound fighter at that time was between David Benavidez, the Plant. There was the best between those two. But instead of fighting either one of them, he fought Caleb Smith. And again, Your Honor, where did he fight him at?
Objection. Pandering to the jury. For those of us that are hardcore boxing fans, we know Caleb Smith was rated number one at 168, as I said.
Your Honor, I will retract that statement. I will retract partial that statement.
Okay.
I will give counsel that Caleb Smith was ranked as the number one fighter at 168. However, Your Honor, the public knew the best fighters were between David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. Ironically, Your Honor, he did not fight David Benavidez. He fought Rocky Fielding. And then, circling back around, he fought Caleb Smith when David Benavidez was stripped of his title and lost it on the scales. Then mysteriously fought Caleb Smith for the belt that David Benavidez was stripped of, instead of just fighting David Benavidez. These are all facts, Your Honor. He is now, right now, fighting Avni the Neidhart Yildirim, his sparring partner since 2014, Your Honor.
Objection. This is a mandatory put in place by the WBC.
You know what? Sustained.
Your Honor.
Prosecution. Stay more on what you were talking about as far as Canelo.
Your Honor, Avni Yildirim is fighting Canelo. Canelo requested to fight Avni Yildirim. He was not the mandatory. He only became the mandatory when
Yes.
Alvarez requested to fight him, Your Honor. That
Yes,
is
sir.
partner of 2014.
Objection.
Those
That's a
are facts.
lie. That's a lie.
Your Honor, he is saying it's a lie. I will present to you.
You have another exhibit?
I will present to you Exhibit B. The council will present Exhibit B, Your Honor. Exhibit B. Canelo Alvarez wasn't ordered to fight Abner Yildirim. He requested it.
Wow. It's right there. It's right there, counselor. What do you
Your
have to
Honor,
say for your client?
Your Honor, the athletics not a reputable source.
Your Honor.
They've been tied to many type of boxing national enquirer type of articles.
Does the
Your Honor, if you don't mind me asking, go ahead and place judge.
I would ask if you strike this exhibit off the please would you strike this exhibit off the record?
I don't know. I think it looks pretty hardcore.
It's okay, Your Honor. It's okay, Your Honor.
Looks pretty hardcore, but
counsel has other exhibits. So if you want to strike Exhibit B, counsel has no problem striking Exhibit B due to the athletic. All right, I have no problem with that. Counsel has no problem. Counsel will then present Exhibit C. That's what I will present. I will present Exhibit C.
Judge, are we allowing this Google
yes,
searching?
We are. Yes, we are.
Google searching
sustain
real time in the court.
Continue. Let the prosecution continue.
Hey,
Your Honor, these are
you're showing partiality to Google search.
I'm not showing
Your
partiality.
Honor,
when you showed
Google
your
search,
exhibits,
that's
counsel,
24.
when you showed your exhibits, we allowed you to show as many as you wanted. He's showing his exhibits. We aren't showing partiality, but I do want to render the verdict soon.
Your Honor, this isn't the time to do research by finding specific articles. He came unprepared and he's trying to throw anything at Canelo, my client, to make it stick. This is unacceptable in your court, and I do not believe that you should be condoning this type of behavior with regards to my client.
Your Honor,
now to the prosecution. Before you go, I just want to say, would you be able to summarize it after this so that we can render?
I can summarize it. Yes,
okay, that's all. And okay,
Your Honor, and I must be able. I have the right to address with a quick rebuttal for my client.
Your Honor, what I must say to you is this is not a Google search, Your Honor. The Google that you see on my screen has nothing to do with Canelo Alvarez. This is not a Google search, Your Honor. I have these receipts for days. This is not a Google search. Looking at this Google search, you see Teofimo Lopez on here, Your Honor. This is not. This right here is not. I have these 4 days, Your Honor. These are exhibits. FYI, this is Exhibit D. I have these for days, Your Honor. This is what I do, Your Honor. These are on ice right now, waiting for this type of motion, Your Honor. So I will wrap this all up.
Objection. Mauricio Suleiman's known for being a liar, and all of a sudden we're taking this man as reputable?
Your Honor, Canelo Alvarez never refuted it.
Overruled.
Hold on. Didn't you just
never refuted it, Your Honor. Mauricio Suleiman never refuted this. I mean, Canelo Alvarez never refuted Mauricio Suleiman. He never came out, Your Honor. Suleiman's lying. This was mandated and ordered. He never said that, Your Honor. Canelo Alvarez has said nothing, and he's had the opportunity to do so. Under much fan displeasure, I might add. So I will wrap this up in closing, Your Honor. Everything that I stated about Cinnamon Clitoris having the opportunity to become undisputed in 4 weight classes, I have shown you. Everything that I stated, Your Honor, about Cinnamon having the opportunity to fight Jermell Charlo, Demetrius Andrade, and avoiding them, I have shown you, Your Honor. When it comes to him fighting any one of the UK fighters, I've never said anything about them fighting them. I brought up him not fighting the fighters that we wanted him to fight. When it comes to him fighting Abney Yildirim, his career sparring partner since 2014, this fight was requested, not mandated. This match was guilty and thrown under the jail and then stepped on and stomped on in a new jail built on top of that. He is a ducker of utmost proportions and needs to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I rest my case.
Okay. Close the argument. Counselor?
We argue about Charlo not wanting the Benavidez fight because they're not in the same division. My client is not in the same division as Charlo no longer. We are talking about present times right now with these present charges. For one thing I know is that you're describing a great man because you want him to be undisputed in 4 divisions. You know what I mean? You want him to be undisputed in 4 divisions. You just said that. That's what the prosecution are making him guilty of, not achieving undisputed in 4 divisions. Did you hear that, Your Honor? Did you hear that, jury? Because I think these standards that the prosecution that they're putting on my client are just a little bit too high. A little bit too high to be undisputed in 4 divisions. But I understand my client is flattered that you think so much of him that he should be undisputed in all 4 divisions.
But Your Honor, didn't
But
count.
as I said, he will be trying to go undisputed in 1.
Your Honor, didn't he try to?
He successfully took the first belt. He will be moving to take the 2nd belt and Billy Joe Saunders, and then moving to get that last belt and Caleb Plant. It's all been solidified, but people don't want to hear it. People don't want to believe. People don't want to understand that the schedule's already been solidified, but they still mad. My client is not guilty of anything but just trying to be the greatest Mexican fighter. The greatest Mexican fighter. We looking at it, the prosecutor are looking at this from a American perspective. American perspective. My client does not give 2 fucks about speaking English. Don't give 2 fucks about being American. He wants to be the greatest Mexican fighter. He's guilty of trying to be the greatest Mexican fighter of all time and shattering all Mexican warrior stereotypes he's doing. I rest my case.
Well, it's time to ring the verdict on this case. We all had enough time to think about what both sides had said. In the case of the LDBC versus Canelo, we find the defendant guilty on all charges.
Yes, vindication, Your Honor. Vindication.
Like we can sit here and do.
Vindication, Your Honor. Vindication.
So we don't have time to do Tyson Fury today.
We could put in, we could slide in one more on the docket, because we started late.
Well,
we could slide one more on the docket.
Because I got a surprise witness.
Come with it. Are you allowing it?
Yeah, but I'm gonna count it for the record.
My witness is Bftb.
Objection.
Oh, okay.
I'm with it.
He said objection.
How is he irrelevant to this case?
Your Honor, I have in-depth knowledge of Tyson Fury's entire career from the time he started fighting. Along with yours.
Possibly, but from a biased perspective, are we showing partiality, Your Honor?
No, we're not showing partiality
by having him as a key witness.
No, we're not. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that.
Courts normally have experts come in to be
Listen.
key witnesses in prosecution, and I got an expert in this, and I want to use him as my witness.
Facts.
Listen, before you bring your
Your Honor, can I say something, Your Honor?
Yes.
All the exhibits that client Fella brings on a weekly basis, you have to step up your game and bring in a star witness. I think is beautiful and a great addition to the court.
Your Honor, he dick riding Bftb. Dick riding Bftb. Like, it's ridiculous.
No.
But stop it, yo. This is the Supreme Court of law, and we can't be doing this right here. You know what I mean? He pandering to the witness, to the jury.
I'm not dick riding a damn thing, Your Honor. I'm bringing up a key witness who has witnessed all the fuckery. Matter of fact, let me tell you the charges first. Let me tell you what he's.
Yo, tell me the charges to my client, man. Because listen. Since
he's being charged.
Since all y'all some punk ass niggas, first off, you know what I mean. I'm left with this winless, hopeless case. So I'm here. Your most hated fella is here to defend this defenseless Tyson Fury. But go ahead with it.
I mean, was there a case that? Okay, all right, go ahead.
Your Honor, I will say that I am an expert witness. I attest to that. I object to prosecution's slander of me and counsel. I object to that, Your Honor, and I wish to be stricken from the record. I am an expert on this case and matter. I'm an expert on this case and matter. I have at least every exhibit from A to Z on this topic, then some, Your Honor. I will not bore you. I promise I will not bore you with going through exhibits for the next 2 hours. I will cut to the chase on the most meaningful exhibits. Back up whatever counsel presents as prosecution.
Yes. So the charges are seeing that Tyson Fury has lied to the boxing public because he could have fought Deontay Wilder in 2020, but instead he chose to run off like a scared bitch. That he is, Your Honor. That's number one. Number two, Tyson Fury had supposedly signed a contract with Anthony Joshua, but then come out recently stating that him and Anthony Joshua are so far apart from any agreement on a fight. And,
prosecution, if I may interject, prosecution, because you were a little off, and me as an expert with facts are the facts. Okay. Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury could have fought in 2013, not 2020. No, we know that. We're just talking about the most recent event.
Objection, but where are these charges, Your Honor? Where are these charges, Your Honor? They don't have the case in order. They just trying to throw anything in.
Sustain. He does have a point. He does have a point.
No. I'm speaking.
Go ahead.
On Tyson Fury being a duck artist, Your Honor. I'm speaking on being a duck artist.
Go ahead. I want to hear you.
This is not the time for pre-court banter.
All right.
Let him go. Let
Hey,
him go.
witness, can you come take a witness? Can you come take a seat at the stand?
I'm here.
All right. Well, BFTB boxing, if you don't mind me asking. In recent statements, Tyson Fury has said he wished he would have went ahead and fought Deontay Wilder in 2020, in February 2020, because he hasn't fought in over a year. And now because he hasn't fought over a year, he wants 2 fights from top rank, whether it's AJ, CJ, BJ, RJ, or PJ. Am I correct?
Those are all facts, sir.
Okay. May I proceed, Your Honor? Are y'all have any problems?
Proceed. Unless
right.
I'm sure the counselor have questions for him after. Continue.
Yeah, he's supposed to. Now, witness, BFTB boxing. Now, and also in recent interviews, he also speaks on how him and Anthony Joshua are far apart from having a fight sign, so they can go ahead and fight for undisputed. Correct?
Your Honor, sir, that is absolutely correct. What Tyson Fury is now saying is that they're close, but no cigar. So there's still opportunities and other fights that can be had, to include the Deontay Wilder fight that he is obligated to do, and he is clearly and blatantly ducking.
All right. And also, isn't it under my understanding that right before they fought in 2019, is that Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua signed a 2-fight contract deal?
So in that case, what happened in that case was they were talking about it. He didn't sign it in 2019, and the reason why he didn't sign it is because Tyson Fury wanted 60% in his favor. They were going to do it, but since they didn't get the 60% in Tyson Fury's favor, he didn't sign it. But they did go on to have Killer Handjob say that the fight was a done deal last year and this year, pretty much.
So, matter of fact, speaking of Killer Handjob, I'm glad you brought him up. Can you explain to the court what kind of person Killer Handjob is and the type of person that Tyson Fury associates himself with?
Objection.
Overruled. Let him finish. Let him finish. You'll get your chance, counselor. You'll be able to question him on the stand if you want.
Thank you, Your Honor. Killer Handjob is a thug, a arms dealer, a drug dealer. He is a murderer. He is a modern day Al Capone. There is your description of him. He is wanted. He can't go to the United States. There's multiple companies that are looking for him while he's resting in Dubai without having any extradition desires from other countries that could reach out to him, i.e. Ireland. So he is the modern day Al Capone.
So that did sum it up pretty nicely. So with that being said, I want the court to understand that we're dealing with somebody who blatantly ducking, who associates themselves with known gangsters who get contract signed, and it looks like they're using force to make their way through the sport and get fighters to do what they want to do, whether are fighters trainers or things like that, to spike their drinks or things. It's all allegedly, but Judge, I want to move to go ahead and push this further without any ado, to go ahead and find the defendant and Tyson Fury guilty. Your witness, defendant.
Of course, he's innocent
May I
until proven guilty.
may I address the key witness, Your Honor?
Yes, you may, Mrs. Steels.
Mr. BFTB, may I call you that?
Uh-huh.
Indeed. Are you aware, Mr. BFTB, that Tyson Fury, my client, was able to be ranked by the WBC without being enrolled and listed into the clean boxing program right before that first Wilder fight? Are you aware of that?
I am aware, and thank you for pointing that out, because that points more to the corruption from Killer Handjob. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Great. Your Honor, please note that for the record that the key witness does agree that that situation did happen with the WBC.
It'll be noted. Continue, counsel.
Mr. BFTB, are you aware of a person of note by the name of Martin Carefoot?
I am 100% in knowledge of who the farmer is who has no wild pigs on his farm.
Indeed. Do you know, Mr. BFTB, what has happened to Martin Carefoot?
Besides the threats that he was getting, and the fact that he wanted the money that he was told he was going to get for lying for Tyson Fury, besides those threats, besides all of that, is there anything else that Killer Handjob was able to do to this man? Is there extra stuff besides that I'm aware of?
Where do you estimate, where do you believe that this alleged money was coming from to fund or to pay Martin Carefoot?
My beliefs, Your Honor, although I deal in facts, counsel, and you're asking me about beliefs, I will give you my belief, not a fact, but a belief. That it also came from Killer Handjob, as he controlled the MGM, which is now MTK Global, which Tyson Fury was associated with in order to get him off of the Nandrolone charges.
I do want to say objection one time, Your Honor, but the reason I'm objecting is because he's helping my case. So do you want to proceed to go ahead and render judgment, because he's doing more to help my case than defend his client?
I'm sure that he still wants to present his opening statement. He's just questioning the witness right now.
By all means, Your Honor. By all means, I am ready.
Yes. Well, I thank you, Mr. BFTB. That's all. That's all the questions I have. I would like to proceed with my opening statements and opening and closing statements. Shall we? Now we've heard it there from the key witness. The description of who I will call an unnamed boss of the unnamed organization. An unnamed boss of an unnamed criminal organization, who your key witness was just describing. My client is a troubled soul. Once was on the ascent at the pinnacle of the mountain, defeating the long reigning Vladimir Klitschko. From there, he went spiraling down the mountain in drug addiction, alcohol abuse, all type of things. Eating disorder, blew up in pounds. We seen the pictures, we seen the videos of my client. But there's a misnomer that's been out there that my client was actually helped by some of y'all's favorite fighter, Deontay Wilder. he might have had a slight motivation and influence in the case, but the real helping hand, the real helping hand hand came from this unknown boss, unnamed boss, unnamed organization, right? But we need to understand, when you give helping hands in the underworld, in the criminal organizations, you got to get that payback. You got to get that payback. My client has been under a lot of scrutiny for his actions in certain big fights, because there's a bigger show, a bigger scheme, a bigger plan at play. Where my client is just the puppet being extorted to go through these actions. Go through these actions by being controlled by the same man, by the same organization that the key witness just beautifully displayed. But you want to charge my client guilty without going to the top boss that's controlling the whole thing. Well, understand, my client is coming here today to ask for a plea bargain. My client is coming here to ask for a plea bargain, and he's willing to give you the unnamed organization and the unnamed boss. That's my opening statements.
Wow.
So we gonna put Your Honor, are we going? Does that mean we about to put indictments out on the trigger man? I'm just asking. Is that what he's saying? Is that what he's saying? Are we putting? He's willing and ready to put indictments out on the trigger man? Is that? I just want to make sure I'm hearing everything that the defense is saying.
So does the defense have Tyson? Is Tyson Fury going to come to the stand, and is he going to testify against Killer Handjob?
We're asking you, counselor. I don't want to turn 50.
That's irrelevant to the plea deal.
No.
We have established that my client is close in close connection to the unnamed boss, an unnamed organization, very close connection, close affiliation, actually in it. You know me? So he's willing to give you the names and give up this organization. Mind you, understand that my client understand that there's payback, and my client, once again, we have noted that my client has given up his purse in the first Wilder fight, given up his whole purse to the Wilder fight, to the proceeds to donation, but the donation was actually the foundation of an unnamed organization. So understand that this is payback. My client is being extorted to do such things, or all for a greater plan, and all my client needs is a fair plea bargain, and we can give you the bigger thing at play that is trying to take over boxing, the evils that are trying to take over boxing. Do you just want to take the little guy on the street, or do you want the big guy that's bringing in the boat?
So, Your Honor, the only way that these charges is going to stick is if the defendant
Exactly.
gets on the stage and and testify. If he's not willing to testify, but only is only willing to give up numbers, then I'm sorry, I'm going to have to say I'm looking for
The prosecution got to agree
10
with
to
that.
15. You know.
So the prosecution doesn't agree with what they want to bring to the table. Counselor,
Yes, Your Honor.
is that all you got?
Will he testify, counsel?
Unfortunately, Your Honor, and your prosecution, I do not have your unnamed boss and your unnamed organization on my cell phone or on my IG, so I cannot hit him up to see if he can be
Well,
come to
I'm,
trial
I,
and
if
swear to oath. I cannot do that. That's under the that's for the job
if he
for the job of the government of the LDBC to rectify that
if
nature. Not for me, Your Honor. Not for me, Your Honor. I'm just bringing out a
if
plea
your
in
defense
order for you to
if
get the big fish, and your prosecutors are fumbling and want to drop it
I'm not
because maybe
fumbling,
they scared of something. Maybe they just want a name
Your
call,
Honor,
but they don't want the
Your
big
Honor,
fish. They don't want the big fish. They just want
Order,
to take the little guy
order, order,
and throw him under the bus. Throw him under the.
order,
But
counsel,
my
counselor,
client is willing.
counselor,
Is willing. He's in
counselor.
the whole thing. He's
order,
willing to give you the
order.
whole
Objection,
thing.
Your Honor.
He's
Objection.
stressed. He's scared.
Objection.
He's scared. You see the man.
Sustained.
He's throwing
Counselor,
up in weight.
counselor, let him get a word in.
Counsel. If your client is willing to plead guilty, I will drop the charges to 5 years. I will drop the what I'm trying to get to 5 years. But if he will not testify and you want to proceed with the court proceedings, I'm asking the judge for 10 to 15 years.
With no boxing.
Your Honor, we are willing to give you the unnamed organization which my client has been hopefully
If he's willing to testify, we can go
paying
into witness
into.
protection.
Hopefully paying into. My client's been hopefully paying into. My client is scared. My client made the mistake of announcing the unnamed boss's name during a fight announcement. My client has made so-called criminal mistakes. I'm hoping my client can be assured of some type of government protection for the type of information and the type of figures that we have the ability to give you. But if not, I can understand where this court stands and where this prosecution stands, weaseling out the back door just to get the smaller fish in the game.
We stay ready. So if he needs witness protection, we got him because we stay ready. But if he's not willing to be protected by stay ready, then I'm sorry, I can't. I cannot. And Your Honor, I want to say one more time, I cannot be lenient towards his client if he's not willing to testify.
Anything else anybody wants to add, or any objections that anybody wants to omit before we render judgment?
Your Honor, once again, my client is a troubled soul that was just looking for an honest helping hand to get back up on his feet. But through that helping hand and through that assistance, you have to pay and pay back in a handsome sum. My client, as I presented, and as the prosecution's key witness has presented, is being obviously controlled and is one of the star puppeteers in this whole game of the boxing takeover.
So, counselor, you're not willing to comply with what the prosecution wants, basically.
Can the prosecution repeat what they want?
They're gonna have them repeat it one more time, and then we're gonna render this verdict.
Would your client to agree to testify against Killahan? And only thing will, and his charges will be dropped to community service if he agrees to testify.
My client will agree to testify against the unnamed boss and the unnamed organization for the right of with witness protection.
Okay.
And we'll move
I
from
agree
there.
with that. Yeah.
You agree? So we're in agreement.
I agree with that.
Okay. He's ordered to do community service. He's to stay out of trouble. Any sign of nose candy, he's getting thrown back. And this time he's not even gonna get arraigned. We just throwing him in the hole without the key. Okay. So everybody's happy here. So let's get ready to close.
I would like to say, Your Honor, that's a great decision that you did. He will hang himself with that probation. This is lovely. Thank you, Your Honor. He's guilty, and when he violates, what's his backup time? When he violates,
he's going right back to the hole. You heard of Russian roulette and one in the chamber? Well, you know, he's gambling. So you gotta really watch. You gotta really watch him. Okay. Counselor.
This is great.
I will definitely watch him. Understand it's not just up to me to watch him. It's up to your agreed upon protection. My client is definitely a witness that's a high stake witness that will be definitely a high target. So please
does your client have any allergic reactions to metals? We might have to provide him with an ankle monitor.
Definitely in the lead fashion, he's definitely allergic to those.
Okay. Let's get ready to close this one out, though, fellas. This was a good one, man. Bftb, man. Give him your last, and we appreciate you, bro.
Man, I'm just sitting here loving life. I appreciate coming to the motherfucking courtroom so I can apply pressure on the people that needed to be applied pressure on. You know, I shared this video on my YouTube, and I did a post and uploaded it on my Instagram, and then my nigga get trolls. So I want to do a special time in this court and give a thank you to the trolls for coming to my nigga the Jab Jamboree coming to the courthouse. I appreciate you guys giving my nigga all the views. Thank you, trolls. Thank every one of you bitch ass niggas. I appreciate you pussy ass, hoe ass, clown ass, bitch ass niggas for coming here to dick ride just because I'm here. I appreciate it because I'm here, you came for me. But what you don't know, you give my brother, the judge, all the views in the world. You give my brother, Mr. Oddfella, all the views in the world. Thank you. Thank every one of you pussy bitch ass niggas. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Salute, bro. It was a good one. I ain't gonna lie, it was a good one tonight. Came through in the clutch. Supreme Beast, man. I know.
Yeah.
Thanks for still coming through anyway, though, Red. Appreciate you. I know you was busy.
Nah. You know it's all good. You know, I would like to apologize. Please don't hold it against me in next week's court. I made it here safe. We are here safe. Everything's Gucci. We gonna have breakfast tomorrow with the champ, and then we gonna watch the fights and all that other good shit tomorrow night. We plan on doing a whole lot of recording, so you know what I'm saying. We'll definitely put something together after we get back home and all that other good shit, man. Thank you for having me again. You know what I'm saying? Sending out the link all the time. We're going to be bullshitting on the Beltway and all that other good shit. Me and KG did the sparring sessions. Go ahead and check that out. Everybody that's listening, go hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't want to check it out, just go hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? And put the motherfucking likes up over there. You know what I'm saying? Don't be on the bullshit. And yeah, man. Like I said, man, thanks, Act, man. Fella, you already know it's always a good one. You know what I'm saying? The shit that Fella be saying, I be laughing on mute because I don't want to interrupt the court because he just be saying some wild shit, Act. I don't even know.
There's a lot of highlights. There's a lot of highlights on this one.
He said,
it's a lot of highlights.
I don't know about my client. I don't know about my client in the metal fashion. Like, what the fuck? What? Man, this should be, that's why I love this shit. I love Act, man. You a genius for this, man. You a genius for this, man. Stay ready, man. You know it's always a good one. Stay ready, don't give a fuck, man. He be like, yo, fuck this job. I'm at court, nigga. Hold up. You know what I'm saying? I put the track.
You got damn right.
Yeah. And
Nigga, I was
man,
sitting,
you know what I'm saying?
Hey, the whole time I was sitting inside the tractor with the AC blowing, bitch.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
I don't give a fuck.
Doing court for real, you know what I'm saying? Doing court. That's how you supposed to do court. And Bftb came through. He came through on some star witness shit. You know what I'm saying? Didn't nobody know that shit came out. The first he said, "We allow a star witness. Who you want to bring?" I felt was like, "Yeah, that's cool." He said, "My star witness is Bftb." Unmute. Objection. Nobody said anything.
It was like 2 seconds. It was like 2 seconds. Objection.
It was 2 seconds of silence, and they said, "Objection." Yo, man, y'all niggas is wild, man. But yeah, man. 4 in the morning. I guess I got to try to get up 4 in the morning. I'm expecting a phone call and shit. So, I'm in the watch party.
Yo, it might be 1:30.
Oh, okay. You gonna call me at 1? I might get on like 3.
Yo, because I checked the zone and it said the shit started at 1:30.
Yeah, but the zone they in UK, they based in UK. You know what I'm saying?
That was on my TV, dog.
Yeah, okay. Well, Canadian is based out of the UK too. I don't.
Nigga, we based out of Canada. That's what Canadians based out of. What you talking about?
Yeah, you had to bring that to court. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but go. That's all you got.
Yeah, man, thank y'all, man. Thank, like I said, man. Thanks again, Act, man. You know what I'm saying? I get up out of here, man. Supreme Beast Boxing Talk, Facebook, Instagram. We got the YouTube channel popping. We're on the road to 1K. Go subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tap in. You know what I'm saying? We doing this damn thing. Salute to the LDBC, and I'm out, man. 1.
Yes, sir. I ain't come to you. Did I stay ready?
No, no, sir.
Yeah.
Man,
All
I
right, go
appreciate you
ahead.
sending that link, man. We had fun tonight. We had fun tonight, and man, that was some live ass shit. Bftb, man, you came through in the clutch tonight. You know what I'm saying? Good, great replacement for 503, and man, I hope this ain't gonna be the only time you come through and jump on the court and bring us some charges on one of these motherfuckers in boxing, man. 'Cause this shit was fun and it was interesting listening to you. Just the debate. It's just fun debating. So that's why I did this, and man, I appreciate it. Fellas, it's always good. My favorite sparring partner, man. Act Reacher, the judge, aka Quattro Cinco, man. Appreciate it, bro. And y'all know what it is, your boy Matt. The Stay Ready Boxing TV. You ain't got to get ready for Stay Ready, man. And
Steels, man, giving me a last.
Indeed, you know what I mean? Most definitely, it was another dope one. Salute to the grave digger for coming through, passing through. That was definitely the epic, some epic cases. Coming through as a key witness as well. You know what I mean? It's somewhat of a victory over our side. You know what I mean? Because we are for community service, and we about to blow up the bigger picture, the bigger plans here. So it's a good look. You know what I mean? Salute to the other prosecution, my favorite spar partner, Stay Ready Boxing TV. You know what I mean? You know what it is. 503 Lion. You know what I mean? Eating good. You know what I mean? Salute to my guy 503 Lion. And of course, I don't even really want to salute my guy Supreme Beast Boxing, even though he got to the ATL safely, but I checked the Google Maps, my nigga. You know what I mean, and the traffic was clear. The traffic was clear. You know what I mean, and I know the reason why. You know what I mean. You held the shit up. You held the shit up because you didn't want to get that work on the Lineal Championship. You know what I mean. You didn't want to get that work on the Lineal Championship, but that's okay. That's okay, Cadillac. You know what I mean. I'm gonna give you another week. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give you another week, but it's still not gonna do nothing for you. You know what I mean? We're gonna render that shit. My judge, Your Honor, Judge Galvatron, gonna render that shit. The Lineal Championship, not guilty. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But I know why. You know what I mean? You slowed up that bullshit. I checked the maps. But yeah, it's your favorite, yet your most hated R fella. Make sure you're subscribed to the R fella. War Report will be on tonight, you know what I mean, for that Joseph Parker Junior 5 fight. As well, we got a cipher Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, you know what I mean? The GTA cipher, the Greater Toronto Area cipher is going down. Part 1, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I got 4 new MCs passing through. Y'all know what it is. It's your favorite, yet your most hated R fella. Salute to the whole LDBC, and I'm Gizon.
Yes. Salute to all my peoples that came through in the chat, man. Salute to Max. Salute to my brother Bftb. Salute to 503 Lions. Salute to Supreme Beast, man. Oh man, it was a good one, man. This one really, I didn't think that, you know what I mean, we was gonna be able to have all this momentum, but because it started off, you know what I mean, and especially because we had to push things back, but you all bared with us. We got a lot of new people that probably didn't get to see it before, and hopefully we can keep picking this thing up, man, and we can keep growing, man. Salute to the LDBC and the full Berserker clan. It's your boy Act Reach. I never steer you wrong. And course now adjourned. I'm out.